Over the last decade, the Conference USA Championship has seen Hilltoppers, Roadrunners, Flames, Blazers, two types of Owls, and last year, Jacksonville State. And the Gamecocks are champions in just their second year in the conference. Jacksonville State lost 3 of their first 5 games this year, but a late season run brought them 1 win from the title game.
The kick is up, and the kick is good, and it's over.
The defending champs arrive tonight with momentum. Waiting is this year's surprise. Kennesaw State with a new quarterback, a new coach, and some major swagger.
The key by Odom, and he's in, touchdown.
Tonight in Jacksonville, we've got this year's upstart facing last year's champs, Kennesaw State, Jacksonville State, for a Conference USA championship. And welcome to the 2025 Air National Guard Conference USA Football Championship. Kennesaw State at 9-3, Jacksonville State at 8-4. And the crowd arriving, and so are the Owls. Kennesaw State was 2-10 last year. What a turnaround this year. Their first year of eligibility to get to the championship game, and here they are. Conference USA standings, you know who's at the top. A lot of teams going bowling as well. 2 new teams to Conference USA bowl eligible, Missouri State and Delaware. But it's Jack State and Kennesaw State in the championship game. Hi everybody, I'm Rich Waltz, Super Bowl running back. Robert Turbin is here. Jordan Giorgio is down on the sideline. These championship games, no matter how big or small the conference, there's always some electricity here, and there's definitely some electricity in this house.
Oh, no doubt about it, Rich. We're up for a big-time matchup tonight, and the atmosphere is incredible. And I can tell you as a former player, nerves are certainly high, but I can also tell you being in bowl games and being in NFC championship games and playing in the Super Bowl, the one message is consistent. Once the ball's kicked off, the game of football is just the same game. And I'm sure that's the message the coaches have given his players tonight.
And man, we've got dynamic offenses on both sides.
Absolutely. For Jacksonville State, listen, they got a great quarterback and a great running back, a nice balanced attack. And for the Owls, they want to hit some deep passes tonight. That's going to be key in this matchup.
Now, Jack State. Champions last year. Rich Rodriguez was their head coach. That's Charles Kelly leading them out. He's their new coach, and he's done a wonderful job here. This is a really good football team and a great environment for this championship game. Let's dig in to Jacksonville State. You're going to love this guy. He's the nation's leading rusher. He's Cam Cook.
Yeah, we talked about the balance that Jack State has offensively. Cam Cook has a lot to do with it. He's like a gourmet chef. Every time he steps onto the field, serving 5-star meals against the defense. He got 10 games this year with over 100 yards. That's the most in college football. He's a great one.
And he's not the only guy you got to worry about. Caden Creel didn't start until game 5 this year, and he's almost at 1,000 yards rushing. He can throw it as well, and that's a good thing for their head coach, Charles Kelly, who's down below with Jordan.
Thanks, Rich. Coach, you said this week championship teams usually have to go through the same opponent twice. What gives you the confidence that your guys are ready to get it done again tonight?
Listen, this is going to be about execution. No matter who the opponent is, this is going to be about what we do. It's disciplined execution for 60 minutes. That's what we've got to do.
Kennesaw State's tempo is a huge factor. What's going to be key for you guys to set the tone early in this one?
Well, we've got to be able to beat them back to the ball. We got to eliminate explosive plays, and then we got to create explosives on offense.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Rich.
All right, thank you, Jordan. He's also going to have to deal with a really good quarterback on the other side. Let's do a little turbo time, as we like to do. Look at the knot on that tie. Sweet look there, Turbo. Amari Odom, what you got?
Well, Kennesaw State's had quite the turnaround this year, and Amari Odom has a lot to do with that. You just love his precision in the pocket. He doesn't panic. He sees the defender down the field with brush, and he's able to execute right here. Look at that again. 4 defenders around the football, still able to deliver the ball accurately under pressure, and you love that aspect to his game. But this is where he can be really dangerous. Good coverage down the field, pocket breaks down, he can get to the edge and use his feet. He's got great speed, and he can create big plays with his legs. You're going to be able to see that tonight.
We haven't talked defense yet, but we've got the co-player of the year. How about 120 tackles for Baron Hobson of Kennesaw State?
Yeah, he's the energizer bunny for this defense, the unquestioned leader. Wherever the football's at, you're going to see Hobson around the ball, and you're going to see a lot of that tonight.
2-10 last year. Jerry Mack comes in, running back coach for the Jaguars last year. Really great resume coming through the college ranks as well. And look at this, 9-3. That's how you win Conference USA Coach of the Year. Turbo, your keys to the game, brought to you by Air National Guard.
Well, for Kennesaw State, they got to execute in the red zone. Didn't do a good job of that in their last matchup against Jack State. And then on defense, they got to have run gap discipline to slow down the rush attack for Jack State. For Jack State, they got to win at the line of scrimmage, protect the quarterback, and be able to block well up on the offensive line in the run game. And then on defense, they got to take away Amari Odom's first read, Rich. If they make him go through his progression, they may be able to have an advantage there.
All right, weather last year, remember, it was rainy and windy and really cold. This year, 44 degrees, we'll take that. And not a whole lot of wind, some clouds, not expected to rain. They set a record for attendance when these two teams met 3 weeks ago here. Jack State won that game. It was a tight one throughout, although Kennesaw State had more yards and first downs. They turned it over 4 times. Here we go. Michael Petway watches it sail into the end zone. And our first look at the Gamecocks offensively, Caden Creel, 8th start. He's 6-1 as a starter.
And he's really not only the main player for this football team, Rich, but the X factor, right? Whenever some things break down, you can count on him to consistently make plays. The biggest thing about him that he does well is that he protects the football, Rich. He's only got 3 interceptions this year, and that's going to be a big component in the victory tonight.
Jack State runs the ball more than most teams in college football, and they do it with tempo. And of course, Creel will do a lot of that. Little quarterback draw. Key matchup here. A tall wide receiver against a really good DB.
DeAndre Johnson, 6'8". They want to get him on some deep balls tonight. But Jericho Washington Jr., the best corner for Kennesaw State, will be guarding up against them a lot.
Gain of 4. 2nd and 6. And this is Cook. And he's caught behind the line of scrimmage. Antonio Stevens for Kennesaw State makes the play.
Yeah, this play was really broken up by number 6, Marcus Patterson. When you want to stop the run and you want to be disruptive, it's all about penetration into the backfield. Marcus Patterson getting back there, being disruptive. And a nice job by the Kennesaw State defense to rally for a tackle for loss.
It's a loss of 5, 3rd down, 11. Baldwin in motion there, the tight ends. We're going to throw it down the sideline, and it's just over the reach of DeAndre Johnson. A great target at 6'8", and that's a 3 and out, and that's a big win for Kennesaw State.
Yeah, it looked like DeAndre Johnson had a chance at that one. May have slowed up on his route there right at the end and then tried to recover. But a nice job by Caleb Alford staying attached to him. That was number 2, the corner, guarding up against DeAndre Johnson one-on-one. And a nice way to start this football game for Kennesaw State with a 3 and out.
Connor Donaghy, an Irish punter. Yes, he's from Tyrone, Ireland. And a lefty and a liner there, kicking away from Benyard, who's a first-team all-conference returner. That's a terrific punt, and it's down to the 29, 47 yards on that. Amari Odom is a big quarterback, 6'4".
You know, the last time Amari Odom played against this Jack State football team, he didn't have his best performance, but the last 2 weeks, he's had record-breaking performances, and so his confidence is recovered and built back, and he's looking to have a big matchup tonight against Jack State. The key for him, Rich, is not throwing the football to the other team. He's got to be careful with the football. He's got to make smart decisions tonight.
3 interceptions in that game, and they all were costly ones. They were all in Jack State territory. Coleman Bennett is the running back. Odom can run it, but they like him to swing it. And this is Bennett on the first carry, and he fights his way out to the 35. That's a gain of 6. Key matchup here, Caleb Nix and Gabe Benyard.
Yeah, Gabe Benyard is their do-it-all player for Kennesaw State. Really electric as a wide receiver, but you'll see him in the return game as well. But on defense, how about Caleb Nix? He's got 4 interceptions on the season. He had one against Kennesaw State in their last matchup. He's one of their big-time players on the defensive side of the football.
And he is the younger brother of Bo Nix, the Broncos quarterback. Play action for Odom. Swing it out. That's Bennett with the catch to the 40, and he dances up the sideline, has a first down, and they mark it at the 45. Again, Kennesaw State outgained, outplayed Jack State statistically in that game. Those 4 turnovers, though, killed them. And they play fast. Both teams will use tempo. Bennett doesn't find much room there, and he's swallowed up by Talon Carter. That's a loss of 1.
One of the things that Kennesaw State wanted to be more intentional about in this game, all right? They wanted to run the football more with Bennett, and they wanted to get him involved in the passing game more as well. You can see their first 3 plays already. A run to Bennett, a pass to Bennett, back to the ground game with him. He's going to be a key component, the X factor for them on their side in terms of getting this offense going.
They were going last week. They won in 2 overtimes at Liberty, 48-42, to get here to the championship game. Bennett, and he's out to the 46. This is going to be a long 3rd down and about 8. So these are the numbers. Look at that. You get 579 yards, you expect to win, but the 4 turnovers, and then certainly Jack State made them pay.
Yeah, you turn the football over, that's one thing, but if the opposing team can make you pay by getting points, that's another, and Jack State did a nice job of doing that last matchup.
Bennett in the backfield on 3rd and 8. That's Bullock in motion, the tight end. Odom flushed, looking, and he's hit and throws, and that's incomplete. It'll be 4th down. Max Sanders, part of the all-freshman team, the linebacker, in pursuit.
That's not an easy guy to run down right there, Rich. Amari Odom. This defense did a good job. We talked about that in the keys to the game. They took away his first read, right? He took the snap, looked to his left, it wasn't there. Then they forced him to try to use his feet, and Max Sanders was all over it. We're going to use a spy on him tonight, and Max Sanders is going to be one of those players.
That's Joshua Hewitt, the punter. And it's Caleb Nix, who we talked about, deep. Let's see if Nix can make the fair catch. He waits for it, and a sliding catch, nicely done at the 23. This championship game is underway. Jack State, the defending champs, the upstarts, the Owls of Kennesaw State.
Mighty proud of you. You worked your ass off. Damn, I love you. We going to the ship. We going to the ship. That's what we do. Yeah. That's just what we do. All I got to say to you is congratulations and rematch. Yeah.
Oh, man, how cool is that? It is a rematch. I'll bet you had some Pete Carroll moments just like that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, look, you play the 49ers twice a year and then see them in the NFC Championship game. Some classic battles there.
Creel back to throw, fires it sideline, has a man, that's Johnson, the big wide receiver, to the 35-yard line. That's a gain of 12. And that's a good example of the arm that Creel has.
And an interesting story with DeAndre Johnson, you know, typically a guy that you want to hit deep down the field. One of the areas that they want him to continue to grow is in that route tree right there, a nice comeback route for a first down.
Creel fires it over to Coombs, and Caleb Coombs is hit. And you can hear there's a pretty good contingent that has traveled Northwest of Atlanta is Kennesaw State, so it's not that far a drive. A lot of buses pulled into Jacksonville for this one.
And it's a physical battle right there on the edge. I mean, a nice job by Caleb Alford getting off the block and making the tackle that time.
Cam Cook breaks a tackle, breaks another, and is blasted at the 42. It's a gain of about 7. Mylan Jones made the stop.
And this is what makes Cam Cook such a great running back. The ability to make people miss. He's got the most forced missed tackles in all of the country with 93 coming into this game. There it is right there.
I think that needs to be 95 now after that run.
Yeah.
Well, it's a 3rd down and 4 now. Remember, Creel's so dangerous with his legs. He's going to fire it up for the receiver. Lots of contact. And Jericho Washington knocked it down. Creel, I mean, he turned a hand off to no one and then threw it up for grabs.
Well, it looked like Cam Cook went the wrong way. And look at the airtime right here by Washington. He comes up a little shaken up right there.
You cool with that contact?
Oh, I like the no call right there. Ball's up for grabs. You're just playing 3 flies up at that point. Nice job by the defense.
That's right, you were a baseball player at one time.
I was a baseball player at one time.
Donaghy, who had a really nice line drive punt his last time, is looking for a fake here, and Donaghy runs all the way up. Boy, he had an opportunity, and he punts it, and it almost hits a Kennesaw State player and ends up at the 16. I think if Donaghy just ran it, he would have had the 1st down. Remember, it was 4th and 4. Wild times already in this one. Scoreless start, Conference USA Championship.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by the Air National Guard. Serve your way. Join the Air National Guard. Visit airforce.com. By Verizon. And by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef?
Yeah, that's Truist Park, home of the Braves, and these two teams met. A lot of scoring there, 60-52 in 5 overtimes. Darnell Holland scored the winning touchdown. Here, championship game. Charles Kelly in his 1st year at Jack State. Jerry Mack in his 1st year at Kennesaw State. All right, look, we were talking about the punter, Connor Donaghy. Turbo, what did you see?
Well, he's got an option here to run this football or punt, and I just think once those defenders started coming downhill right there, it kind of spooked him out of it, so he kicked the ball.
Well, the other thing is he's a true freshman from Ireland. So I don't know how many times he's been tackled in his life.
Exactly right. He certainly hasn't been tackled in practice, that's for sure.
2nd down, 11. Odom steps up, fires, and it's incomplete. We talked all about the offense and all about the quarterbacks, but both defenses look sharp.
And the game plan for Jack State defensively tonight is they want to play shell coverage, meaning they want to have 2 deep safeties and try to force Kennesaw State to complete passes underneath those intermediate routes, forcing Amari Odom then to go through his progression. What they don't want to do is give up the explosive deep plays, which is how Kennesaw State gets going offensively.
3rd down, 10. Odom rolling right, fires, caught, and a 1st down. It looks like Kopic. Now, where do they spot him? He sprawled on the 26, but they may mark him at the 25, and they do, and it's short, and it's 4th and less than a yard, and the offense
Oh, wow, I would go for this.
Is coming off the field.
I think I would go for this. It was a nice decision by Odom. He had Benyard down the sideline. That's what he wanted, but he had safety help over the top defensively, so it wasn't there. He comes back to his right and is able to find Kopic there just short of the 1st down. I understand the decision here, though, Rich. You're in your own territory. You got to punt this football.
Hewitt, that was narrowly blocked. Nix, fair catch And he makes it at the 30, 45-yard punts. The nation's leading rusher, Cam Cook, under wraps so far. Jack State gets the ball when we return. Scoreless here, Conference USA Championship. Tomorrow noon Eastern, don't miss a Serie A showdown. Inter hosts Como. It's the pinnacle of Italian soccer on CBS Sports Network. Stream every match live on Paramount Plus.
Well, this is what Odom wanted on that last play. The go route here, but the safety over the top got him off of it, which is a nice awareness there by Odom. And there's a catch by Kopic, and it was just short. Surprised they didn't take a second look at it there, but I like the decision to punt. You're on your own 25. You got to play the field position game.
Caden Creel, little option right side. He's dangerous when he gets a seam. And Creel is stopped at the 37. He didn't start this year as a starting quarterback. In fact, he was returning punts and playing wide receiver whenever they wanted two quarterbacks in the game.
Yeah, he was also playing running back as well, and his mindset was just to do whatever was best for the team, and that earned him the opportunity to be a starting quarterback at this point of the season.
Well, he's more than earned that. He's 6-1 as a starter. Christian Lando in the backfield. And again, Creel going to keep it, and he's got the first down out to the 46. Gavin Wimsatt was the starter. We may see more two quarterback looks with Wimsatt and Creel. In fact, Cade Cunningham, the third quarterback, there's an outside shot. They run a play with three quarterbacks in the game.
Well, they have athletes, they feel, at their quarterback spot. All three guys can do some unique things, and so expect offensive coordinator Clint Trickett to involve them into the system tonight.
Creel looking off his back foot, fires it, and a catch. That's Johnson. That is a 6'8" wide receiver who's absolutely blossoming here at Jack State.
And I love that you said that about him, Rich, because early on in the season, you know, mentally he just wasn't quite there, didn't understand the offense, wasn't showing the consistency, you know, as an athlete, the classroom, on the field. He really changed that up, and he's really started to blossom, in your words there, Rich, as a football player.
That's a 24-yard hookup, Creel to Johnson. And on 1st and 10, Creel, blitz comes, gets rid of it. That's caught by Lando out of the backfield. Not Calrici, but Christian Lando. And he's to the 28-yard line.
Two defenders that time, almost getting to Creel, but nice job by Creel getting the ball out, and then Christian Lando just getting what he can right there on first down.
Cook is in there along with Lando. Creel, that's Cook. So far he's been bottled up. His third carry, and he has just 3 yards. Jaden Grimes made the stop.
You know, one of the things that you look at in this matchup, what Kennesaw State did successfully against Jack State the first time around just a few weeks ago, is that they defended the run pretty well. And they're doing a nice job of it again tonight. The key is staying disciplined in those gaps throughout the entirety of the game. And in these third down situations, this is where Caden Creel's feet really come alive.
3rd and 9, Creel throws, 4-man rush, tight spiral, and a nice catch by Cook, who lined up in the slot. He's short of the first down. They're going to go hurry up here. And on 4th and less than a yard, Cook wiggles his way to the first down. Taiwan Christopher made the stop.
A different situation right here for Jack State, right? Inside their 25-yard line, and that's why they go for it there on 4th down.
Verizon Red Zone. Tonight we'll keep an eye on this. 62% getting in, at least points. Touchdown percentage is at 58. Last week, though, they were 2 of 7 against Western Kentucky in a game that they won on a walk-off field goal. 8th play of the drive here. Just inside the 17. Creel in trouble. Avoids one. Bounces to the outside. Racing for the sideline. Gets the first down. He is such an athlete that they felt, even though he wasn't the starting quarterback, they just wanted him on the field somewhere.
And the thing that impresses me most about Caden Creel is how quickly he gets to full speed. I mean, he hits that acceleration button, and he's at full speed right away. Showed the elusiveness that time, able to get outside of the pocket there and get a first down.
30 yards on 4 carries already for Caden Creel, who is a redshirt sophomore. He's over 1,000 on the season now. Cook meets Marcus Patterson and Tylon Dunlap.
And Marcus Patterson's been doing a nice job really all game long. Inside move, going up against big Reggie Jackson, number 77. And it looked like that was actually Tylon Dunlap, number 5. And a nice tackle for loss that time.
There's Jackson, the right tackle. This is a really good run blocking offensive line. 2nd and goal. Play action. Creel fires, end zone, intercepted! Milan Jones. And a huge play by the Owls defense.
And Kennesaw State giving Jack State a taste of their own medicine. In the last matchup, it was Amari Odom throwing the interceptions in the red zone. And tonight, Caden Creel throws one. And a nice job there by Milan Jones coming down with the interception. Kennesaw State with the ball back.
Is a terrific safety for Jack State. He started his career as a high school quarterback, went to Clemson, and then transferred and found a home here. And he's had a whale of a year at safety. Amari Odom is back. And Odom finds Coleman Bennett. All right, so he's not the only, these two aren't the only famous Knickses. Dad was a pretty darn good quarterback, right, in his day. Patrick Nix, starter at Auburn, and a really good college coach as well, and the high school coach for Caleb. And so they have a rooting interest, obviously, in this one and on Sunday. Man, this dude, I mean, you look at his resume this year, Turbo. 4 picks, 3 fumble recoveries, 54 tackles, fumble recovery for a touchdown. One of those picks was a pick 6. He's just a junior. He's had a terrific year. On the mark is Odom. Bullock makes the catch, and he's got the first down. And we check in with Jordan Giorgio.
Hey, Rich, you were just talking about the Nix family connection. Charles Kelly has actually known safety Caleb Nix since the day he was born. He coached with Caleb's dad, Patrick, as you mentioned. More after this. So when actually Caleb's brother, Bo Nix, you were talking about, was born at the hospital, he was the one, Charles Kelly was, at the house babysitting their little sister, Emma. He said coaching Caleb now, a kid he's known his whole life, is one of those reminders why he loves this sport.
Well, and look, those type of connections usually are behind a transfer. You know, coming from Clemson here, getting playing time, and really proving himself this year as an outstanding safety. Odom starting to cook a little bit. Finds Moss, and Christian Moss inside Jack State territory, down to the 37. And so Moss with the catch, first down. Walker Osteen, second team All-Conference USA. The guy who dominated defensively in that first matchup, he had 14 tackles against Kennesaw 3 weeks ago, is down, and they're looking at that right leg.
Didn't see initially there what happened there. It looked like his right leg swung in and hit his teammate there.
Well, you hope it's like a knee-to-knee contact. It looked like it hit the shin of his teammate. And you hope that that knee is stable.
He's one of their big-time impact players on defense. And you're hoping that he can at some point come back into this football game.
Well, the way he's walking it, here's a look.
Never mind.
Right there. And it kind of hyperextended it when he hit Walker's leg.
You know, Rich, this is an important drive for Kennesaw State. You know, I think one of the keys to the game for Kennesaw State is getting out to an early lead. You're on the road. It's a championship game. You know, if you can jump out on top early, I think that gives them a little bit of an advantage.
Chase Belcher in the backfield, and this is Belcher, 6 foot, 213-pounder, transfer from West Georgia, and he picks up maybe a yard. It's going to be second down. They're running some tempo here, so they'll probably get another snap off before the end of this first quarter.
Looks like they're
maybe not
up here.
Yeah, it's they're going to wait this one out. We talked all about the offense. We expected a game in the 40s. And what have we seen so far?
Bagels.
It's a really good defense. But Jerry Mack and the Owls are on the move right now. That's the end of the first quarter. You're watching the Air National Guard Conference USA Football Championship on CBS Sports Network. To the second scoreless Conference USA Championship. Jerry Mack moments ago with our Jordan Giorgio.
Coach, your defense comes up big with that end zone interception. What more do you want to see out of your offense?
We just got to settle into the game right now. We got to play our style of game, be aggressive. You see us opening it up a little bit more, trying to push the ball down the field. I think that's what it has to happen. A good gift, a balance of pass and run right now. Thanks, Coach. Thank you.
They were 2-10 last year. Jerry Mack comes on in his first year. He was a running back coach for Jacksonville at the Jaguars. And look what they've done this year. They've gone 9-3, 7-1 championship game. Those are the numbers in the first quarter. On a second down and 9. Ben Yards, they need to get him with some more touches. And he ends up at the 36. And, you know, talking about Jerry Mack, and there's Charles Kelly, both these guys in their first years. Kelly, long-time college, high-level college assistant coach. Defensive coordinator for Deion Sanders at Colorado, co-defensive coordinator the last 2 years at Auburn. Jerry Mack in the NFL. Odom busted out, and Amari Odom goes down at the 21-yard line. He can do that as well.
A really nice play design. They lead Emmanuel Oyebadajo unblocked. The guard comes around and pulls to get him. And it was a wide open lane there for Amari Odom to get the first.
Odom pulls it, fires, end zone, contact, incomplete, and the flag comes down.
I was gonna say, Rich, I don't know about that. I thought I saw a hole right there, right at the top of that route.
Well, Caleb Nix on the coverage, Christian Moss in the pattern. Let's take a look.
Number 3, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's Fagans. Nix was in the vicinity, but it was Fagans with the interference.
Yeah, it was a really nice route, really, by Christian Moss. He presses, he stems straight forward, then you're going to see him make an out-breaking route, boom, and then come back inside. And that's really what drew the holding penalty right there. They called it pass interference, so here go the Owls there inside the 10-yard line.
Well, this is where they had trouble 3 weeks ago. They were just 2 of 7. And it all started with that interception. 2 of 7 in the red zone 3 weeks ago here at Jack State's. Odom. And Osteen, who's back in the ballgame, that's great news, makes the stop. And if you're just joining us, defenses have dominated early. In fact, an end zone interception for Kennesaw State has put the ball back in the hands of Amari Odom. You see the red zone numbers. The touchdown numbers are the important ones. 3 of 8. Second and goal. Odom again. They're not going to get in. Stansbury makes the stop. for Jack State, and it's 3rd and goal.
Very tough defense to run the football against this Jacksonville State team.
And a timeout. And Kennesaw State wants to talk about it. So, first-year head coaches, how have they done in their first year? Dan Mullen obviously aced it. He inherited a lot of momentum, but he didn't inherit a lot of players. He had to add a bunch of guys in the portal. Jerry Mack inherited a 2-10 team. Jason Eck, Coach of the Year in the Mountain West. Charles Kelly, nice job here. He took over for Rich Rod. Dickards, coming from Washington State, was 8-4 at Wake. Let's check in with Jordan. Jordan?
Hey, Rich, I'm down here by the Jacksonville State huddle. You can hear it loud and clear. 11 hats to the ball. That's what defensive coordinator Brian Williams is screaming to his defense right now.
That's their motto, Jordan, right?
It absolutely is. They believe their defense is at its best when every player is swarming to the football and is in clear view of that screen you're watching, Rich.
All right, well, we'll see how they do on 3rd and goal. Kelly pacing the sideline. Coleman Bennett, the running back. It's been all Odom on this drive, it feels like. 11th play. And it's Bennett. And he's in.
All physicality right here by Coleman Bennett. Sees a little bit of a crease, lowers his shoulder, keeps moving those feet, and is able to spin his way into the end zone. Kennesaw State getting an early lead on the road in the championship game. I think a big key for them tonight.
Extra point, Britton Williams. Milan Jones started it with Jack State threatening. Caden Creel looked to the end zone. This was the pick that stopped Jack State. 80 yards later, Bennett into the end zone, and a 7-0 Kennesaw State lead. Gets Pavia, and he scores! Pavia sneaks through, and Cooley on his feet busts into the end zone. Touchdown, Liberty. Salter, end zone, caught, touchdown, Daniels.
And they are the 2023 Conference USA champions.
Special guest appearance by Aaron Taylor there at the end. That was a terrific game, and of course Diego Pavia has blown up since at Vandy. Inside the numbers, 20 different games played, 13 different winners, 7 two-time champs, 6 one-time champs, and 3 back-to-back champs. Last time it happened were Roadrunners 2021 and 2022 UTSA. Petway from his 8. Head of steam, and a nice return as he gets it out to about the 28-yard line. Kennesaw State's defense gave up a long drive, but then buckled down with that interception. And they've kept Jack State out of the end zone.
Yeah, and it's really been at all 3 levels tonight so far, Rich. The defensive line has done a nice job getting penetration into the backfield and getting some tackle for losses, and that's forced Jack State then to have to throw some footballs down the field, and their secondary, the secondary for Kennesaw State is capitalized.
Milan Jones with that pick back on the field. Caden Creel. That was a dangerous pitch. Cook gets hit. That pitch was almost a pick 6 pitch. I guess it would be a pitch 6.
And then watch the effort here by Elijah Hill. This is a freshman. Just misses it. Watch him get back into the picture. Boom. And this is the intensity that this defense is playing with tonight.
Second down, 9. 4-man rush. Quick throw out to Cook, who likes to catch it and run with it and bust tackles along the way. And he's got the first down out to the 43-yard line.
Well, he lowers his shoulder on a defender that time. Let's take a look at this. 1-on-1 in space. Boom. Get out of the way. First down. Nice run there by Cam Cook.
That's not even a broken tackle. That's just like a decleater. 43-yard line. Jack State and movement flags. Procedure will back them up 5 yards.
False start. Number 1, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
We'd introduce Ron Hudson, our referee.
No excuse for a wide receiver to jump off sides. Got to keep your eyes on the football.
Cook, kind of the outlet valve, and he's getting a lot of work out there, but he's not getting a lot of yards. 3 hats on him. Isaac Hall in the middle of it for Kennesaw State.
Well, this defense, look at 3 guys. 3 guys are there unblocked. It's the discipline right now for Kennesaw State. They're understanding how Jack State is trying to attack them, and they're in the spots that they're supposed to be in.
Cook has 3 catches for 21 yards. Just 20 yards rushing. Creel caught and dropped. And that's Elijah Hill. First team All-Conference USA and just a true freshman.
Actually leading the Conference USA in sacks. Tack on another one. That's 8 for the year. Typically, he's a guy that comes in on 3rd down, Rich, as a 3rd down rush specialist. But they've been using him on all downs tonight, and he's been impactful.
They're down 25. Creel, lots of time, escapes the pocket, got a long way to go, but he's going to get there. Look at Creel go, a first down inside the 40, toppled at the 38 by Cody Jones.
Well, this is the danger of playing man coverage. You play man coverage, all your secondary players have their back turned to the quarterback, and Creel's got too much speed to not have at least a spy trying to mirror where he is. I thought a mistake right there on 3rd down by the defense, not having a defender dedicated to the quarterback there.
54 yards already for Creel. Ball at the 38. Fake to Cook. Creel across the middle, broken up, and it's incomplete. Johnson, the intended receiver.
It was slight.
And a flag?
It was slight. He got it slightly early. He got there slightly early. Slips out of the break, boom. See it there, Rich? Just a little bit. You could let that one go, I think, but I understand why they threw the flag right there. And they're having a discussion about it. They could pick this up.
Pass interference. Number 12, defense. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Yeah, he just got there a split second early. And, you know, Jack State now really able to move the football because of some self-inflicted wounds there by the Kennesaw State defense.
Creel is out of Fairhope, Alabama, same high school as Riley Leonard, the Duke Notre Dame quarterback, now with the Colts. And that's going to be a run down to the 24-yard line. Mark Mattioli in his first year as the defensive coordinator. The coolest thing on his resume, he was the head coach in the European League of Football for the Paris Musketeers. I did not know that the Paris Musketeers even existed. Turbo blitz comes. Creel, that helps to have a 6'8" receiver. And Johnson, who is really eye-popping in this one. Look at this. That's high-pointing a ball. He may be the only receiver in this conference that could catch that.
There's a lot of quarterbacks around college football, even in the pros, that would appreciate a guy who's 6'8" and has the type of speed and athleticism that DeAndre Johnson has.
3 catches, 42 yards. And he has a touchdown in his last 5 games. Creel trying to find a seam, and it closes up pretty quickly. If you haven't seen DeAndre Johnson, if this is your first peek, here are the particulars. 6'8", 220.
He had his breakout game earlier in the season against Middle Tennessee, 4 catches under 31 yards, 2 touchdowns. And that was really the start of the progression that we've seen from him the rest of the year.
And as you mentioned, he was benched against Middle Tennessee. And it took a come to, you know what, chat with his coach.
Yep.
And from that point on, he's absolutely turned it around and just blown up. Cam Cook, right side, and that surge is going to get him close to the stick, but he's still short of it. 3rd down and about 2.
It'll be interesting to see what the strategy here is for offensive coordinator Clint Trickett. It's 3rd down, you're at right about the 10-yard line, but you're down to touchdown. And if you're short on 3rd down here, do you go for it on 4th? I think you do. I think you do as long as you don't lose any yardage here on this down.
That's Cook. And
I think he's short.
He is short.
So I think you go for it here, Rich. You got a little closer to that the 1st down yarder there.
Yeah, and they did this again on 4th down. They go tempo right away to try to catch the defense. Cook is hit, bounces back, he's stuffed, and they stop him. Caleb offered, and the Owls defense with a huge play. That's 5 tackles for loss already for this defense. And this the biggest of the game.
The middle of this defense has taken over this football game. Penetration again, pursuit to the football, driving the best running back to the ground. Another 4th down stop for Kennesaw State.
5 Eastern tomorrow. Front Range rivalry here. You got Colorado State. The Rams look good early on, hosting Colorado. It's on CBS Sports Network, 5 Eastern. 3 Mountain Time. Kyle Jorgensen off to a good start for the Rams. Sebastian Rancic and Colorado. We check in now with Jordan Giorgio.
Yeah, Rich, there was an energy shift on this Jack State sideline. Running back Cam Cook clearly not pleased after that stop. He told me this week he's a quiet guy that saves his voice for moments that matter, and when he feels the energy drop, that's when he becomes vocal. This is one of those moments. He's pacing the sideline, pulled his teammate aside, Michael Petway, who slammed his helmet down after that big stop.
All right, thank you, Jordan. The other energy coming from the sideline during the break was from Charles Kelly, the head coach. He was furious with the officials. He felt they held up and slowed the tempo of that 4th down snap up.
Yeah, I didn't understand why the umpire went and stopped the snap of the football, or delayed the snap of the football, rather. And I think that really gave the advantage there to Kennesaw State to get that stop.
Bennett in motion. Amari Odom fires on the money. That's Jordan Jackson with the catch. Actually, it's Clayton Kopic who makes the catch. And so now it's a 3rd down and about 4.
It's a big one for this Jack State defense in terms of getting the ball back to their offense. Where's Gabriel Bernard here? I think that's where he'll target on this 3rd down.
Direct snap to Belcher, but flags fly and the play is blown dead.
False start, number 76, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Nikola Milovac, the right tackle.
Certainly don't want to have those self-inflicted wounds there on 3rd down. This defense for Jack State, Rich, they have a pressure rate of 32.5%. That's the best in the Conference USA. They thrive on these 3rd and long opportunities.
Third and 9, 4-man rush. Odom has time, fires to the sideline, and it's caught there. Holding on is Davis Bryson. And that is when they call the cross-hash throw that Amari Odom throws so well. Odom back, this time over the middle. Man wide open, caught there. That's Benyard. And finally, Gabe Benyard with a big play.
Amari Odom really in a nice flow now. Feet are settled in. He's going through his progression, and he's accurate with the football.
Another play action. Love the tempo here. On the mark, it looks like Davis Bryson again with the catch at the 40-yard line.
You know, head coach Jerry Mack calls this offense basketball on grass. They want to spread you out. They want to create space within the middle. It's like playing 5 out on the basketball court.
9 of 11, 102 yards for Odom. Bennett with the carry, and he breaks loose. Bennett's inside the 30, down to the 28. Walker Osteen made the stop. They're really clicking the Owls right now.
Yeah, they pull their left guard and left tackle, and nice patience there by Bennett. Finds the crease, gets downhill.
Odom flushed, dropped. Daryl Prater cleaned up. Good penetration by Jack State.
Brian Williams dials up a blitz here that clogs the lanes there. No space for Amari Odom to get loose. And a nice job getting the sack there by Daryl Prater.
Mitch Militello is the offensive coordinator for Kennesaw State. And the offense that he runs is very much a Tennessee type offense. He worked with Josh Heupel at both UCF and at Tennessee. And it sure is working at Kennesaw State. Corner blitz, Odom lost the ball and then gets it back. Malcolm Jones came screaming off the edge. And it looked like somebody threw a shoe or something flew out of that.
So Amari Odom, he's got to get rid of this football right here. I understand he's trying to make a play, a really nice sack by Malcolm Jones.
It's his hand warmer that came off.
But once he sees this blitz, typically the responsibility for that blitzer would be Coleman Bennett, the running back. He's out on a route. So he's got to hit the hot. He's got to hit the running back right now once he recognizes the blitzer there. Instead, tries to run out of it and get sacked.
Well, let's see how much pressure they bring on 3rd and 27. They got to get down to the 18 for a first down. And they may have 5 more yards tacked on to the 27.
Timeout. Kennesaw State, their second of the half. This will be extended into a full media timeout.
So they picked the flags up, timeout before that, 2.5 minutes left. Kennesaw State on top in a Conference USA championship. 7-0. Conference USA Championship, 2.5 left first half. Verizon halftime reports coming up. Kiana Martin, Kevin Carter, Beanie Wells, Adam Brenneman in the studio. Break down the game, get you caught up on Conference Championship weekend on the Verizon halftime report. Kennesaw State has the ball. They get it to start the second half, but this is not an area where they've been good, Turbo.
Yeah, and I don't know if I like that timeout called right there by Jerry Mack. Now you only got 1 left, and if you do get the ball back, if you have an opportunity to score, you put yourself in jeopardy of running out of time. Not sure I agree with the strategy there. One of the reasons why they've struggled this season in this area.
3rd down at 27. Now what's up?
Timeout. Jacksonville State, their first of the half. It's going to be a 30-second timeout.
And so Jacksonville State uses a timeout.
And they wanted to get a picture of what Kennesaw State was going to line up in.
But wouldn't they want that timeout for them for the last 2.5 minutes to try to move the football down the field?
Well, I feel, look, they think they're going to get the ball back here, get a stop on 3rd down. That leaves them with 2 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout. So they feel they have plenty of time to be able to drive the football down and get a score. But, you know, for those who don't understand what the middle eight is, it's the last 4 minutes of the second quarter, the first 4 minutes to start the second half. And Kennesaw State has been minus 27, as we mentioned, so far this season. They've got to be smart with the football right here in this situation. The goal is to get in the field goal range right here.
So you need about 10. Oh, and a fumble. And Odom falls on the ball. What a disaster this has been. once they got inside of Jack State territory. That's just a wayward snap. And that could take us to the 2-minute timeout.
If you're Kennesaw State, you want this to run down to the 2-minute timeout.
3 consecutive negative yardage plays. And the 2-minute timeout has arrived. Final 2 minutes, first half. Conference USA Championship, 7-0 Owls. Championship weekend. All right, Turbo, who you got in this one?
You know who I got in this one.
Yeah, Texas Tech. You Utah State guy, you. Georgia, Alabama.
Oh, this is going to be a good one, Georgia.
Okay. All right. Duke could just cause havoc if they win this
Duke
one.
will cause some havoc for the college football playoff.
And Ohio State and Indiana.
Oh, I think Indiana really's got a chance, but I think Ohio State comes out on top. These some great games. Great games.
This is Conference USA. We are in Jacksonville, Alabama. Kennesaw State punting. That ball's going to land and take a left turn, and a great specialty piece of punting and coverage. Right now, Jack State's got to get this guy rolling. The best rusher in the country has been a better receiver. He's got more yards receiving than rushing.
This defensive line for Kennesaw State has really done the job pushing this offensive line backwards, and just no space tonight for Cam Cook to really get going. So he's had a slow start here, but I think Jack State will continue to ride him and trust that over time this running game will get going.
And here's your point on that timeout by Kennesaw State. They'd love to have 2 here where they could stop the clock as Creel gets captured at the 5. Jones makes the stop. Because if you had 2 timeouts, you might be able to get the ball back with a little bit of time and get yourself in a field goal spot.
Yeah, I mean, look at the field position. If Kennesaw State's got 2 timeouts right now, they'd call one now and hope to force a 3 and out and potentially put themselves in great field position to be able to at least drive down and kick a field goal.
Yeah, 40-yard line is their target line. They got a kicker with a big leg. You don't want to throw it if you're Jack State, because if it's incomplete, it stops the clock. And again, nation's leading rusher is smothered. That's Cam Cook.
One of the keys to the defensive strategy for Kennesaw State was A, protecting the edges, and there's a timeout now by Jerry Mack and his Kennesaw defense.
We'll step aside as well. 30-second timeout. Don't go anywhere, kids. 7-0 Kennesaw State. Can't understate the job this guy has done. Jerry Mack took over a team that was 2-10 last year. He had a great run at North Carolina Central, was HBCU Coach of the Year, going 31-15 there. Offensive coordinator at Rice for 3 years, running back coach at Tennessee, running back coach for the Jaguars, and now his second head coaching job, and he's aced his first year. They've won 9 of their last 10 in the championship game.
If you're Jack State, strategy-wise, you got to run this football, keep this clock running.
Yeah, you don't want to throw it and have an incompletion, and so Creel is certainly going to run it on a set play. He's short of the first down, and here's where you really wish you had that timeout, Turbo. You were all over it. That's all part of winning the middle 8.
No doubt about it. They call a timeout on a play that was already, what, 3rd and 20 or whatever it was. If you have a delay of game, you just eat the 5 more yards, and you're still able to pin them deep.
And the offense is still on the field. I think they're just going to take the delay penalty here.
They're going to try to get him to jump off sides.
It's 4th down and 3. It would be crazy if they snapped the ball here and ran a play. Okay, so again, let's talk about the target line here.
Jacksonville State.
Because Garrison, or rather,
30 seconds.
as you look at the kicker for Brittany Williams, the target line, they feel like he can take a shot at the end. As long as 50.
Think about how much more time you would have had Jerry Mack saved that timeout, you'd have at least a minute with Jack State punting the football here.
And this is where you really want to return. Just get yourself close where you can take end of the half field goal shot, even if it's like a 60-yarder.
And I'm glad you mentioned return because they got a pretty good one back there.
It's Gabe Benyard. First team. Oh, it's a line drive punt, and it's out of bounds. This is getting interesting. Let's see where they mark it. And the official marks it at the 48. This is doable, Turbo. There's 16 seconds left. They don't have a timeout. And so all they need, 15 yards here. That's a couple sideline completions.
There's an opportunity to salvage now the mistake there, burning the timeout. If you can get a chunk play right here, get up and spike the football.
Now, target line at the 31, but when you get to the end of a game, end of the half, coaches stretch that. So my gut tells me you're looking at 35, 36.
Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 18 seconds. 1-8.
That helps. That helps. So understand the situation here. You've got all the field to utilize right now. If you're Amari Odom at Kennesaw State, you don't have to get out of bounds, but you do got to get up quickly and spike the football to stop the clock.
First down would stop the clock briefly. Three-man rush. Odom fires it up the seam. Goodness! Flag is down. That looks like targeting. And let's hope Benyard is okay. Jacob Cruz came up. Look, Benyard knew he was going to get hit, held the ball as long as he could, but after that hit, lost it. Here's another look. Catch. Oh, I don't know, Turbo. What'd you think in terms of targeting?
Trevor Woods, he knows that he's coming in for a big hit. And, I really think he's trying to get his shoulder involved. I really do. He's trying to turn.
Is an incomplete pass. Personal foul, targeting, number 43, defense, 15-yard penalty. The play is under further review.
I think he's trying to get his shoulder involved, but he's just not able to do it in time. You can see the helmet right there, boom, the crown of the helmet right under the chin of Benyard, and that is the right call by the referee. Now, they're going to review it here for targeting.
Yes.
And that's where things might get really interesting because the launch, to me, is not there. It's not leaving his feet. But you get that crown of the helmet involved. And right now, really the concern is Gabe Benyard. You hope that he's okay.
There's Trevor Woods watching the scoreboard, hoping that he sees a replay that exonerates him somewhat.
Trevor Woods played for Coach Kelly at Colorado when Coach Kelly was a DB coach. Followed him here. 20 starts at Colorado. 33 games.
After review,
interceptions.
The ruling of targeting is upheld. Number 43 is disqualified. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I think
clock
that's
operator.
I think
please
that's the right
reset
call.
the game clock to 15 seconds.
Yeah.
1-5 on the game clock.
And Benyard's up. You love that. You love to see that. It's the crown of the helmet for Woods. I don't think this was malicious at all, Rich, really. I think he was just trying to make a play. You're at full speed. It's bang, bang. But the crown of the helmet gets involved, and that's targeting.
As Benyard heads to the locker room, now we turn back to the strategy here. which is they're in field goal range, or at least the range to try an end of the half field goal, which sits at the 33. That's within the distance of Britton Williams.
Yep, and so with 15 seconds, again, you still have all of the field to utilize right here. You don't have to get out of bounds. It's first down, so that means wherever the football's at, you can get to the line of scrimmage with enough time and spike it, and so then you can bring on your field goal unit.
But you got to get everybody back to spike it if you are short of the first down. Odom scrambling, fires sideline, and it's incomplete. Now you're really in a somewhat of a jam as Benyard leaves for the locker room. 10 seconds is not enough time to guarantee a spike. So you might, you know.
You have enough time here as long as it's a quick throw. If you're Amari Odom, you got to be smart with the football. If it's not there right away, if you're Amari Odom, you got to throw the football away. Throw it out of bounds.
But if it's a quick throw, it has to be a first down to stop it, or you're not going to be able to get up and spike it.
You got to get out of bounds.
Odom, three-man rush, flushed, in trouble. He throws it away out of bounds. Now what is this going to be? That's the other thing you can't have happen is a sack.
Yep.
Flag is down. Boy, that's why at 10 seconds, it almost felt like you were better off just kicking it then, because a lot of things could happen that weren't great. And this is one of them.
Intentional grounding. Number 2, offense. That penalty includes a 10-second runoff. The half is over.
That's how you lose the middle 8.
Gotta be smart with the football, Rich. It was 2 things. It was one, if it wasn't there, throw it out of bounds. It wasn't there to start, right? So you got to throw it out of bounds to a receiver so you don't get the intentional grounding. The second key thing is you can't take a sack right there. Look, he's taking too long already. That ball should have been out. Now he's under duress. Not smart there with the ball. And no opportunity to get 3 right there for Kennesaw State. A huge mistake in the middle 8.
Conference USA Championship. Right now, Kennesaw State with a 7-0 lead. After the break, Kiana Martin and the crew in New York for the Verizon Halftime Report. You're watching the Air National Guard Conference USA Football Championship on CBS Sports Network. Back in Jacksonville, Alabama. Sleep Number brings you first half stats of this championship game of Conference USA. Both teams average well over 400 yards a game in offense. So a defensive first half, the lowest scoring first half in Conference USA championship game history. Rich Waltz, Robert Turbin, Jordan Giorgio will join us shortly. In particular, the Kennesaw State defense sparkled in the first half.
And it started with their defensive line. They really caused a lot of penetration into the backfield and the pocket for the quarterback, disrupting the lanes. And then the secondary was able to capitalize it. If you look at it right here, this is a strong running game, a running unit for Jack State. To no avail, though, against this Kennesaw State defense. They've been right on it with their front 7. There it is, another example of it again, forcing Cam Cook to go backwards, and when they decide to throw the ball, their secondary is all over it. But their one-on-one tackling has been great tonight, and they've been able to set the edges.
Yeah, Cam Cook is the leading rusher in the country. 10 attempts, 7 yards. That's it. You saw that pick by Milan Jones of Kennesaw State. That prevented a touchdown, and the Owls would go on an 80-yard drive after that, and that's the only score. And we saw the Owls really botch the last 2 minutes of the first half in an attempt to win the middle 8, right? Score at the end of the half, score at the start of the half. So they get a second shot at it. They do get the ball to start the second half. And it's into the end zone. We say hello again to Jordan Giorgio.
Hey, Rich, Jack State head coach Charles Kelly told me at the half that top priority right now is finishing drives. He said if we could do that, we're going to be in good shape as long as our defense keeps balling out. As far as Kennesaw State, Jerry Mack, he said his message to his team as they get the ball to start the second half, he stressed constant communication on both sides of the ball. I also got an update on Gabe Binyard. He is out to start this half as they continue to monitor him, Rich.
Oh, thank you, Jordan. The good news was he was able to get up and get off the field. The bad news is he's a 54 catch guy this year and their best wide receiver. And it feels like he's out. It's a 27-yard line. First carry by Coleman Bennett. First half possessions. And again, that 80-yard drive came after the interception by Milan Jones in the end zone that prevented a Jack State touchdown.
By far their best drive of the game, and it's really important for them to get off to a hot start here to start this second half, first 4 minutes.
2nd and 8, Odom fires. He's been good on short range stuff, and that's Christian Moss. And Moss hangs on to the ball, stays on his feet. That's going to be a first down at the 41-yard line.
Amari Odom has really started to settle into this game. Early on in the first quarter, he was looking for the big throw. It wasn't there. Now he's starting to take the underneath routes, and they're starting to get more positive yards.
Odom's got a lot of time here, thinking about running, starts to run, then gets across the 45 to the 47. Second down and 4.
Jack State has got to figure out a way here in this third quarter to generate more pressure on the quarterback to try to make Odom feel more uncomfortable back there.
To the 49.
Interesting here, midfield. We saw in the first half, Jerry Mack, head coach for Kennesaw State, play the game a little bit more conservatively. If they're stopped short here on third down, I would expect them to go for it.
So 3rd and 1. Bennett almost busted that one, and he's got the first down into Jack State territory to the 41-yard line.
This is an inside zone play, and a really nice job by Coleman Bennett, really being patient. Didn't see anything inside, boom, went to the outside and got the first down.
Play action, Odom running, little flip, that's Bennett. And he's got another first down, this time to the inside the 32.
The last couple weeks, we saw Amari Odom in this type of situation keep the ball himself and run. He's been really intentional tonight about getting his other guys involved.
Tempo offense, little swing pass there. Nice move along the sideline.
He set this up the whole time.
That's Bennett.
Right inside there, good job by Bennett. But a smart decision there by Odom. They wanted the fake throw to the sideline to Bennett and try to hit the deep shot to the end zone. It wasn't there down the field, and so Bennett stayed there as the check down receiver. A good decision to go back to him, and they moved the chains.
Odom, crossing pattern, caught there. And a nice gain inside the 25 to the 23-yard line.
That's Javon Rogers there on the reception. And it's interesting now with your number 1 wide receiver out of the game right now in Gabriel Binyard. Who are the other wide receivers that are going to step up in this passing game?
Little reverse look there. That's Bryson. And he's brought down right at the 30-yard line. Garen Stansbury made the stop.
Protect the edges. One of the key components there from defensive coordinator Brian Williams and this Jack State defense heading into this ball game. Right there, nice job by Stansbury, not being fooled by the reverse, staying disciplined, and getting a big-time tackle for loss.
So 3rd down and 13. Play clock's melting down. This is in field goal range.
Smart with the football right here if you're Odom.
Odom swing pass, caught there. Belcher races inside the 25, tiptoes on the sideline. Let's see where he went out. It's going to be short of the first down, right about the 20-yard line. This will be 4th down and about 3.
He tried to tightrope it, and had he not stepped out of bounds, would have gotten the first down I think a good choice right here by Coach Mack as we take another look at this. Just barely steps out right there. A good decision here by Jerry Mack. Kick this field goal. Make it a 2-score game.
Here's Williams from 38. And he got it. Kennesaw State stretches the leads. They get 3 out of the first drive of the second half. It's 10-0.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Sleep Number. It's the Sleep Number Black Friday sale. Shop for a limited time, only at Sleep Number. By Lowe's. Score with the Lowe's app. Download now. And by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
So FCS 17-7, Kennesaw State won that in 2017. And that's a reminder that these two teams are new to FBS, relatively new. 3rd year for Jack State, 3rd year in Conference USA. And for Kennesaw, 2nd year. And just to tell you, man, the 2nd year was pretty good for Jack State. They won the championship last year, and here's Kennesaw State. All right, you got to get the car back on the track. We're close to Talladega, so notable rushing leaders in college football. And I love the Iowa State look there. That was not Jimmy Rogers in the car, by the way, racing by. Might have been Ashton Genty of Boise State. Now Cam Cook of Jack State. Talladega is just what, south of us here, about 35 minutes?
Off to a slow start tonight, but I expect him to get going here in the second half.
Creel trying to get it going. Petway makes the catch, and Petway spills across the 30 to the 35-yard line. He's just short of the first down. How do you solve Jackson State's offense? It's unbelievable they didn't score in the first half.
Well, it all starts with the offensive line. They're not winning up front. The defensive line for Kennesaw State is really dominating. It's important, though, for Jack State not to abandon their run game just because they're down 10 points. I like to see them give the ball back to Cam Cook, but they've got to take more shots down the field with their wide receivers.
Pitch, there's Cook trying to get outside, cuts in. He has the first down, but only 3 yards on that. Adam Watkins makes the stop. They had a couple of drives. The interception in the end zone obviously is a huge play. And they were stopped on a short 4th down in that 4th drive of the first half.
Yeah, they had the turnover on downs as well. That gave the ball back to Kennesaw State, but only one deep throw to DeAndre Johnson there in the first half.
Creel will keep it, and Marcus Patterson pulls out.
That's out.
The Owls are saying they have it.
This defense has been relentless tonight.
Jack State holds the possession.
That's a big recovery right there.
I mean, look, Creel has 4 consecutive 100-yard rushing games. He is a guy that usually runs up about 300 total yards of offense. It was ripped, but it looked like Creel got it back.
He did.
2nd and 11. Creel sidesteps the rush. Sidearm throw. Nicely done. That's Johnson, the big receiver, and he's got a first down to the 46-yard line. The more you see this guy, this big wide receiver, the more you gotta like him.
Nice job under duress that time too by Creel. Took a hit there in the pocket, but still able to deliver the ball over the middle for a first.
Who does Johnson remind you of? I mean, like 6'8", there's not a lot of guys like that.
Calvin Johnson. That's probably the only guy that I can think of that's that big and that athletic.
Cook, now he makes a miss, and he's inside the 30, and Jack State starting to move the ball.
And this is what makes him special. He gets through the lane, and he's one-on-one with the safety. 1, 2, 3, bam. Get out the way. And then able to get yards after the contact. He leads the nation in that. I told you at the start of this half, I expect him to give the ball to Cam Cook more, and for him to find some open space. Good job so far.
17 yards on that run. Ball just inside the 30. Blitz comes. Creel quickly unloads. Petway to catch on a screen. And he's stopped there by Isaac Paul. Short gain. Second down and about 7.
Had some space right there. Had he been able to get inside his wide receivers just a little quicker, runs into his own teammate and then loses his balance. Kennesaw State, a nice job in pursuit to get him down.
Cook again. 2 missed tackles there. Down to the 18. First down.
So remember, last time Jack State played against Kennesaw State, just a few weeks ago, Cam Cook, 132 yards in that game in the first half, was very unproductive, very similar to what we've seen tonight. And then in the third quarter, in the last matchup, he got going, and it looks like we're seeing a little bit of a repeat performance of that tonight.
He led last year TCU in rushing, but not a lot of yards, 491. He wanted a bigger role, and he ended up here, and he's led the nation in rushing here. Creel's throw, right through the hands of DeAndre Johnson. And a flag is down back at the 23.
Holding, number 13, offense, 10-yard penalty, first down.
It's Pearson Baldwin, the tight end. That's Baldwin trying to keep.
Hold on 55 right there.
Ugana Waha trying to get in. That's a great name.
It's a good call as well by the refs.
First and 20. Creel gonna pick up good yardage here. He has that acceleration that, you know, some quarterbacks have it, but he just gets through the line just very quickly.
Yeah, he's got, I mean, his acceleration is second to none. Haven't seen him be as impactful with his feet tonight. It's a huge element to his game. Kennesaw State has done a decent job for the most part keeping him bottled up, but right there, getting back to the original line of scrimmage.
Clint Schrickett, offensive coordinator, former quarterback at Florida State and West Virginia, now calling plays for Jack State. Creel, play action, and Johnson in a battle there with Caleb Offord. It's incomplete. Offord was the guy that was knocked out of the game 3 weeks ago on a targeting hit. It's great to see him back.
And he's been on Johnson most of the night tonight. We thought we'd see Jericho Washington on him, but you know, Caleb Offord, he's 6'2", as opposed to 5'10" by Jericho Washington. So a little bit of a size, I mean, there's still a size advantage there, but he's a taller corner, and he's done a good job against DeAndre Johnson so far tonight.
6 targets already for Johnson, 4 catches. Creel on 3rd and 10. To the sideline, and he fires it out of bounds. He stayed in, and he was able to keep the line of scrimmage by tossing it away. Still, Kennesaw State, great pursuit, and it's field goal time for Jack State.
Important for Jack State to come away with something right here on this drive. I know it, sometimes you get a little antsy right here. You want to go for it on 4th down. This is not the time. So a good decision here by head coach Charles Kelly to kick this field goal.
Garrison Ripa, who's had a great career. It is up, and it's no good. The uprights at this stadium are extremely short, which makes it tough on the officials. Anytime a ball is up, look how short the uprights are here in Jacksonville. And Ripa missed it. Yep, he missed it. Still 10-0.
Huff
Huff play action, fires it, wide open, caught, touchdown, and that's Huff, and he's in again. The route continues, and the Jacksonville State Gamecocks are champions. That was last year, of course. And, you know, this year it didn't look like they were going to get to the championship game. They lost 3 of their first 5 games at UCF, at Georgia Southern, at Southern Miss. But they've won 6 of their last 7, and they're hosting again, but down to Scrappy the Owl and his Kennesaw State club. That was Scrappy chopping it up midfield. This is Coleman Bennett, and Coleman Bennett, hard to bring down. He's outperforming the nation's leading rusher in Cam Cook. That's 20 more yards for Bennett. 63 yards on 12 carries. And a quick toss to Kopic.
This offense is going so fast, Rich, they can barely move the sticks on the sideline to reset.
Well, the guy who coached Jack State here last year is the guy, the king of fast, right? Rich Rodriguez.
That's right.
And Kennesaw State running this Tennessee-type offense. Mitch Militello, their OC. Jerry Mack was a running back coach at Tennessee from 21 through 23 with the Jaguars last year as a running back coach. Quick toss here. That's Bennett. And good job by Nix to get in there, get a hand on him, and get him off his feet. Good play by Caleb Nix.
Third down has been an area tonight where Kennesaw State has actually done well. And the reason for that is because they're winning at the line of scrimmage. The last conversation Jordan had with head coach Charles Kelly was about winning at the line. They're not doing that so far.
3rd and 5 crossing pattern. Good heads up there by Moss. He made the catch, knew he didn't have the first down, and took a quick right turn, got across the stick.
And it's exactly what your coach do, Rich. You catch the football, you get downhill right now, especially on the 3rd down. A smart play there by Christian Moss to get that first down.
Bennett really has been featured tonight a lot. 5 catches, 32 yards, 11 carries, 63 yards. This time, in a struggle just to get back to the line of scrimmage, he's going to lose a yard. Max Sanders made the stop for Jack State. Charles Kelly, their head coach, Jack State. 2 years at Auburn as the co-defensive coordinator. That was his last stop. He was Deion's DC at Colorado. 4 years with Nick Saban. He's coached under a lot of great guys that have won national championships. Paul Johnson, Nick Saban, Jimbo Fisher. You can mix in, of course, Deion and Chan Gailey added to that list. They did not win national championships, but they're certainly notable coaches to work under. A little swing pass there, and it's Chase Belcher who makes the catch.
It's a nice tackle right there in space by Max Sanders.
And then, you know, here you go, a little bit of history too. This guy, Bill Burgess, the field named after him, great coach here, won a Division II national championship in 1992. He certainly was an impactful guy. That's where Charles Kelly started his coaching journey. After he played at Auburn, was coaching here for Burgess. Moss with the catch. And Moss cuts up. Turbo, this is what we talked about this week with Mariota himself, and that is a cross hash throw. One hash across the next hash to the sideline, and he does it quite well.
Yeah, it's one of the most difficult throws that you can make at the quarterback position. A nice job by Moss there, corralling the football, making one move, getting downhill. That's the key right there. Not dancing around. He gets downhill right now, and they're able to convert for another first down.
And we asked Odom, what's the key to that throw? Because it's a big part of their offense, this Tennessee offense. He said hips. I got to get my hips around and get my hips into it to drive it across the field. Moss banged up on the sideline. That's Neville Dean with a catch. And so Dean makes the catch. 6 of 6 on this drive is Amari Odom.
Look how confident this Kennesaw State football team looks right now.
Fourth quarter, Jerry Mack knows it. Kennesaw State is 15 minutes away from a Conference USA championship in their first year of eligibility in just their second year in the league. Jack State at home, though, where they're so hard to beat. You're watching the Air National Guard's Conference USA Football Championship on CBS Sports Network. You're watching the Air National Guard Conference USA Football Championship on CBS Sports Network. Kennesaw State, the upstart, on top of the defending champ, going to the fourth. Moments ago, Jack State head coach Charles Kelly with Jordan Giorgio.
Coach, scoreless heading into the fourth quarter. How do you get a spark out of your team?
Well, right here we need to get a stop, at least hold them to a field goal. And then we've had the ball in the red zone all night. We got to make sure we finish. But you know what? This is a 60-minute game. That's what we play, 60 minutes.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Back this way, big girl.
It's no longer a 60-minute game. It's 15 minutes. And Kennesaw State, if the Owls were to win this championship, that would just be an unbelievable ascension. One of the best startups in college football. This is Bennett breaking loose, and Bennett spinning out of bounds. Coleman Bennett, the transfer from Rice, the Fort Lauderdale native, 16 more yards, closing in on 100.
58, Brandon Best, and number 56, Jadarius Lee, left guard, left tackle. They've been winning all night tonight on the line of scrimmage.
Odom, Bennett again. Bennett bounces through that tackle, gets down to the 4. Verizon red zone. Now this is a difference in the game right now. 1 of 2 is Kennesaw State. Jack State is 0 of 3. And you heard Coach Kelly tell that to Jordan. Odom racing, caught. Boy, he couldn't outrace the defender.
Really nice job by Ian Mitchell.
It's a freshman.
Beating him to the outside. Yeah, that's a true freshman right there. Good disciplined play to stop Amari Odom short. Big time third down here, Rich. The defense so far tonight for Jack State. No big plays. No takeaways, no interceptions, no forced fumbles. Do they have it in them right here to try to make a play on the football?
Bennett, right side. Decision time, Turbo.
Odom wants to go for it. Look, Odom wants to go for it, and
they're going
They're going to go. They're going to bring in an extra offensive lineman. That's Jamil Williams coming into the game, number 59. There he is. They like to use him in their heavy package. Typically, wherever he's lined up, that's where they want to run the football. He's on the right side right now, the line of scrimmage.
Bullock, the tight end, lined up in the backfield. Odom himself.
And they go right.
He's hit. He's stopped. A surge. He's in. Touchdown.
Wow. That's such great football right there.
Hold on. No signal yet.
Oh,
he's not in. I saw a quick signal, and it looked like he was in. Certainly this will be replayed.
What great football that is right there. That is such great ball right there by both teams. I know the result,
ruling
obviously.
on the field is the runner was short of the goal line. Turnover on downs. First down, Jackson State.
It's blocked perfectly. You're on a one-on-one situation right there at the goal line. Max Sanders, Amari Odom. You get both teams driving each other back. Look at this. Boom. Right there at the line of scrimmage.
All right, but look at the push from the lineman.
You get the push from
It looks like he's in.
It does look like he's in, Rich.
It looks like he's in, Turbo. We'll take a timeout. Wow. That's being reviewed. All right, we're going to start this by watching. Here's the call.
After video review, the ruling on the field of the runner short of the goal line is upheld.
Wow.
First down.
Let's watch this. And let's listen for a whistle.
This is unbelievable. Okay. It's a huge play.
Listen for the whistle. No whistle, and it looks like he's in. All right? However, just remember they've changed the language on this. Upheld is not confirmed. Upheld covers stands and confirmed in the old system, and a whistle and procedure. My guess is they didn't have enough
False start
to overturn.
Number 54,
right?
Offense.
That is one way.
Goal line.
That
First down.
certainly is absolutely how the referees look at it. False start penalty there.
But looking at that play, it looks like he's in.
I don't know, Rich. I think he was short. I really do.
So
it's all about that left knee.
But did you see and then there it is, right? It's not, there's not 100%. You can't be definitive. You got to be definitive if you're going to overturn it, and they certainly weren't definitive. So
it's a humongous play, though, in this game if Jack State is able to capitalize.
Oh, hit and dropped in the end zone. Is it a safety? Where do they mark it?
Patterson has been an absolute beast tonight.
It's a safety. Marcus Patterson.
A beast. Came into the game, Rich. 29 tackles, 2 sacks, 5 tackle for losses, forced fumble.
And it was Hobson.
And a big play with him and Hobson forcing the safety.
Game summary brought to you by Air National Guard. You know, this does tell somewhat of the story. The 0 of 3 in the red zone for Jack State has been crucial, and a safety. Kennesaw State's defense has been outstanding. Here's a look at the safety. It's a 2-man game here. Marcus Patterson and Barron Hobson.
He's been winning at the line of scrimmage all night. Patterson, a good decision to stay tight right there. Makes the initial hit on Cook. And then Hobson there to clean it up. He doesn't get that football across the goal line. And this defense has been big time all night.
And obviously with the safety, it's a free kick from the 20. Davis Bryson, the 15, has a seam. Oh, the ball's in the air, and it's recovered by Jack State.
Huge.
What a crazy bounce of a fumble.
I just talked about it, Rich. Jack State, they need something. They need something to spark their football team. Whether it's going to be a defensive takeaway or something on special teams, and special teams comes up with it. That's the kicker right there. That's the kicker with a big hit.
Jake Jones made the recovery.
And that ball's up. It looked like there was like a punt in the air.
It's Garrison Ripa, the kicker, who made the hit. And just like that.
And what a turn of events, huh, Rich?
Oh, first it looked like a touchdown and it wasn't. Then a safety. Then a air ball fumble. And Jack State with a football at midfield and a little fake reverse here. Cam Cook in the open field for a brief moment, and then it closes up. But he has a 12-yard run, and Jack State moves the sticks. That's Hobson, he's down. Timeout on the field. We'll step aside. 12-0 Kennesaw State. 12 minutes, 9 seconds away from a Conference USA championship. Jack State, though, our Air National Guard play of the game. The kicker, Garrison Ripa, forces the fumble on a free kick after a safety.
You don't see this often. The kicker stick his nose in there. But he showed the toughness and able to come up with a big-time turnover. Now, it's all about if Jack State can capitalize and turn this into 6 points.
They're not in the red zone yet, but they've been awful there tonight. 0 of 3. Play action. Creel throws short, and that's Cook with the catch, and Cook is out of bounds.
There's that 2-quarterback system that we talked about at the start of the game. That's 2 plays in a row now. You've got Caden Creel and Gavin Wimsatt in the game at the same time right now.
Wimsatt is down at the bottom of your screen, or at the top of your screen. Creel looking, firing up the sideline, and it's incomplete. Here's Baldwin,
and
intended receiver.
Yeah, Rich, and I think Creel, he just got to take off. He's got to take off and run. He had some space there in the middle of the defense. Everybody's driving back into coverage. Use your speed and get some yards. It's critical third down here.
Great play by Jericho Washington to deflect the ball. Third down, 8. Creel. Now he runs. And he's got the first down. He gets down to the 21-yard line. Isaac Paul made the stop.
You're seeing Wimsatt in the game. Backup quarterback in at wide receiver. He is a threat to catch the football. You saw him as his first target there in the flat. And right here, he's going to take the snap.
He was a starter for the first 4 games. And he's going to keep it. And Wimsatt up the right side, short of the first down. Jericho Washington made the stop.
Oh, DeAndre Johnson's got to get that block on the edge. If he does, this is a touchdown. We got a player down here for Kennesaw State.
Tylen Dunlap is down. That may cost a timeout if the ball was spotted. We'll get that news to you when we return. Let's revisit Air National Guard keys to the game.
Well, we said Kennesaw State had to be good in the red zone tonight, Rich, and they have. 2 touchdowns out of 3 attempts. The other one, of course, they kicked a field goal, and they've been really good against the run defensively. For Jack State, have they won the offensive line at the line of scrimmage? No, they haven't been able to get going in the run game, and they've got no takeaways tonight defensively. Oldham has been really smart with the football.
2nd and 1, ball to 13. Jack State in the red zone. They're 0 of 3 in the red zone tonight. Cook down to the 1.
I get back to the line of scrimmage right now if I'm Jack State. Run the football, give the ball right back to Cam Cook.
They're all lined up. And this is Cook, and he's in. Finally, Jack State has a touchdown. And what a crazy sequence of events to get them on their way.
Big plays can spark your team. And at the start of the 4th quarter, head coach Charles Kelly spoke to our Jordan Giorgio. And what did he say? He said it's a 60-minute game, right, Rich?
Yeah, but at that time there were only 15 minutes left. But they made the most of the early part.
That's right.
Of the 4th quarter, Turbo.
And it's about how you finish. And right now, they've made it into a 1-score game. And a big fumble forced by.
Yeah, the kicker. A kicker shall lead them.
And then the run by Cam Cook. Big-time championship game tonight.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by the Air National Guard. Serve your way. Join the Air National Guard. Visit airforce.com. By Verizon. And by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef?
Well, Conference USA Championships. Sometimes you get a wild game. This one was a defensive battle, and all of a sudden it's perked up here in the 4th quarter. The defending champs, Jack State, scoreless until that last touchdown. And Aripa knocks it all the way down. A fair catch called for and made.
Which coach has the most college football championships?
My guess is he coached in Alabama.
Your guess would be correct. Don't press right here if you're Kennesaw State. Get back to the ground game.
Bennett's been pretty good, and now Jack State's defense makes a play. Carter in there quickly.
There's also Gallagher in there making that play as well. Haven't seen much of that from Jack State defensively, being able to cause some penetration into the backfield.
Second down, 12. Odom has been terrific through the air. 21 of 24, 185. 9 different receivers have caught passes. Dumps that one on a crossing pattern to Bryson. And it's not a big gain, and this is going to be an ambitious third down and 9.
Exactly where Jack State wants to be right here, forcing Kennesaw State to be in 3rd and long. If you're Amari Odom, just do what you've been doing all night long. Make a smart choice with the football. Check the ball down if it's not there downfield. You got Osteen at the line of scrimmage.
It's a blitz. Odom's in trouble, and he goes down. Osteen and Sanders met at the quarterback, the 2 linebackers.
What a difference one play can make for your team. They get the big fumble on special teams, offense goes down there and score, and this is the best defensive drive Jack State has played all night. They're able to force a 3 and out with potential opportunity here to get really good field position for the next time out of their offense.
4 sacks, 11 tackles for loss for this defense. Hewitt with a big punt here. Spiraling line drive. Nix is going to return it, and he's caught and dropped back at the 40-yard line. Next Saturday, we wrap up college football. Of course we do. With a game of honor, CBS Sports will be in Baltimore this year. The next chapter of the annual Army-Navy game. Coverage starts 2:30 Eastern on CBS, streaming on Paramount+. Top rushing teams in the country. Jack State is right in the middle of it. We've seen a lot of these teams on CBS, the CBS Sports Network. You and I saw Utah earlier this year. We've seen a lot of Air Force. We saw Navy and Army as well. A lot of time left here. 161 yards on the ground for Jackson State. Creel trying to bust out. He's going to get maybe 5 yards there. The second down. Offord made the stop.
Would have been a lot more. Cam Cook missed a block right there in the crease.
In high tempo gear right now. Justice Savage on the carry. Savage is the 4th running back for Charles Kelly.
You know, the only scenario right here if you don't go for it on 4th down is if you lose yardage. But this is 4-down territory, in my opinion, for Jack State.
Creel, that's a lateral. Savage is going to throw, uncorks a deep one, and it's broken up. Whoa! Washington got the hand up at the last minute and knocked it loose. And let's see if they go for it now on 4th down.
They go with the double pass, and it's one-on-one. Rocksteiner, who really hasn't been involved much tonight. And Jericho Washington gets away with a little bit of holding there. Nonetheless, makes a good play on the football, and like I mentioned, 4-down territory in this situation. Not surprised to see Charles Kelly go for it here on 4th down.
Nation's leading rusher Cam Cook in the backfield, and a timeout coming from the sideline, it looks like, of Kennesaw State.
Kennesaw State, their first of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
This second half has been crazy. 4th quarter especially. Now this was ruled no touchdown, but if you watch Odom at the end of the play, he's in the end zone. Call was on the field, no touchdown, it was upheld. And then, next play, that's a safety. right? So that's 2 points. They're going to get the ball until, oh, the kicker hops it loose. And that started Jack State on the drive that gets them points. So the safety was the best thing that happened to him.
Well, they were able to capitalize on that. Well, they got the safety, boom, they get the fumble. They're able to capitalize on that, score a touchdown, Rich. Then their defense comes out and forces a 3 and out. And here they are on 4th down trying to move the chains to keep this drive going.
They hustle the line of scrimmage.
Wimsott's in the game at running back.
Play action. Creel gonna run it, gonna get it. First down to the 44. That wasn't looking too good until Creel decided, I'm just gonna go get it.
Yeah, the backup quarterback, Gavin Wimsott, lined up at running back in the I formation, Rich. Often do you see that in college football these days. I thought he missed a target across the middle. He had an open receiver, Colton Pitchford, but didn't like it and decided to use his feet to move the chains. Good decision there by Caden Creel.
Creel just 4 yards shy of 100. He's passed 1,000 yards on the season. He's going to keep it again. Waiting for an opening. Stopped at the 42. Taiwan Christopher made the stop. This Kennesaw State defense so good in the first half. A shutout in the first half. A shutout in the third quarter. Remember an interception in the end zone back in that first half against Creel.
They've consistently found ways to make plays. That was defensive coordinator Mark Magnoli. But this offense for Jack State is answered here in the 4th quarter.
Creel in the pocket. His scramble has been their best play. Scrambles to the right side. Has yardage, but not the first down. He's chased out of bounds by Caleb Offord.
And you can see that Kennesaw State sideline. They want a holding penalty. 79, that left hand. It's a close one. It's a bang-bang call right there at that time. Maybe got away with a little bit of hold, but I like the no call.
They have the nation's leading rusher, but it's been Creel who's gone for over 100 in this game. Third down 3. Cook. That's the man with all the yards. And Cook was inside the 25. First down, chains move. Milan Jones made the stop.
It's really impressive how determined he runs with the football and how he doesn't allow negative plays or the fact that he didn't get going in the first half to discourage him. He just kept attacking downhill throughout this football game, and he started to have much more success on the ground here in the second half.
Cook, big hole, closed quickly though. Taiwan Christopher shut the door. As it is, it's a gain of 5.
It's exactly the result Jack State wants to see right here. They're starting to wear down the defense for Kennesaw State. And because Cam Cook is getting going now, it opens up the playbook to some play action passes for Creel to be able to hit a target down the field.
That looked like early movement, no flags. Creel races through and into the end zone.
See how quick he gets to 100? See how quick he gets to full speed right there, Rich?
That's 0 to 60, like one of those new electric race cars. And they're going for 2.
They're going to go for 2 to try to make this a field goal game right here, a 3-point game. But the speed and acceleration by Caden Creel, that was the difference. That was all the difference on that play. He had an open target. He could have thrown that ball to Pearson Baldwin there in the end zone. It was the same play he threw the interception on in the first quarter, Rich. So you know what? I'm going to take it myself this time and go score.
They are going to go for 2 here. So let's, it looked like there was motion from the backfield. Watch Cook on this.
Yeah, I thought Cook moved early. There it is right there.
That's a penalty. There's 2 men in motion. How is there not a flag on that?
That's a false start. Referees missed it.
And that's not reviewable either.
It's not.
I mean, that's, if I saw it.
But look, this is the same play that ran in the first quarter. Cam Cook out to the flat. Pearson Baldwin there to the corner to the right side. And he just said, look, I'm going to take this one myself this time and go score, but you're all over that one, Rich. That was a miss. That was a miss right there by the referees.
All right, this is a big 2-point attempt, obviously. It could stretch it to a 3-point lead, which means a field goal won't beat them.
Well, we got one-on-one with Johnson, DeAndre Johnson right there. Let's see where they attack.
Creel's been doing a lot of work on this drive. He's going to throw to the big man who goes up and makes the one-handed catch. Flag is down. Great call, Turbo. 6'8", wins in the end. And the conversion with a flag sitting in the end zone. It looked like interference, to be honest with you.
Do the kids these days still say you got mossed? I do. That's a great catch right there by DeAndre Johnson. Let's see if he gets a foot in bounds. Looked like to me it was clear.
Offord was on the coverage. He's 6'2".
There is no foul for defensive pass interference. The try is good.
There it is. All over him, doesn't matter. Yep, catch, 1 foot in bounds.
That's a great play.
Incredible.
That's a 6'8" wide receiver. What a nightmare for a DB. All right, back to the touchdown. That's
a false start, Rich.
That's two guys in motion, a false start, and no flags, and it turns into a touchdown. Remember the other call, what looked like a touchdown for Amari Odom on that 4th and goal.
Right.
He ended up in the end zone. Upon review, the call was he didn't get in, and upon review it was upheld. So right. the margin of this game has shifted a little bit on a couple of those calls, and all credit to Jack State here, who's gotten up off the canvas and taken a 3-point lead. Still a lot of time left for both Kennesaw State and Jack State.
Want some football trivia? Just ask Siri. Which coach has the most college football championships?
So now Kennesaw State goes from having the lead almost the entire game to being down 3 with 4 minutes left. And instead of just trying to run clock and move the ball, now they got to move the ball and they got to get at least 3 points.
But they don't need to be in a rush here, even though tempo offense is naturally how they go.
Odom looking for a crossing pattern. Little flip, and it's incomplete. Coleman Bennett was in the pattern.
So remember we had that conversation with Coach Jerry Mack, head coach for Kennesaw State. We asked him, what'd you think about the first matchup against Jacksonville State? He said he felt like the team was pressing and they weren't playing like themselves. This is a situation right here in the 4th quarter where you can start to press as an offense. It's important for Amari Odom to keep his composure along with this offense and try to keep moving this football down the field.
Going to take a shot here, and he overthrows everybody, but a flag did not look like a catchable ball, but if it was holding, then that's a different story. As you can see the reaction of Charles Kelly.
Pass interference, number 12, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I know Coach doesn't like it, but he's grabbing him right there. He's grabbing him with his left hand. You got to keep his hands off of him. That's a good call by the referee.
Moves the football out to the 40. 3:51 left. Kennesaw State, remember, used a timeout earlier. They've got 2 left. Jack State, which they like to be referred to as. Jack State has 2 left as well. Odom throws a bullet. That's caught there. That's Bryson. Bryson is into Jack State territory to the 45. They're about 15 yards away from a secure target line and lots of time.
And that's what you want to see from Amari Odom. Nice job getting his hip square, quick decision, ropes one in there, and they're able to convert for a first down.
3.5 minutes left. Play action. Blitz comes. Short throw again. Flag is down. It's incomplete. And we'll see about the flag.
There was a lot of movement pre-snap right there, Rich. Curious what they're going to call right here. Looks like a personal foul or a holding.
Personal foul, shot block, number 65 and number 17, offense, 15-yard penalty, remains first down.
Oh, wow, that's a huge call, 15 yards.
That's the center and right guard. Both brilliant players on this football team. Haven't made many mistakes tonight.
That's Josiah Chenault, the center, and JT Pennington, the right guard.
Just got caught in a chop block that time, but that moves them way back right here.
Now it's 1st and 25, and it's moved them way out of field goal range. Bennett caught, and that's a loss of yardage. Talon Carter, that's the 12th tackle for loss for this defense. Carter got a hold of him up high and held on.
I actually like the play call right here by Mitch Militello, offensive coordinator for Kennesaw State. Can't get it all back on first down. Trying to get a big run there, but a good job by the Jack State defense to be able to get some pushback on that line of scrimmage and get a tackle for loss.
But you need a positive play here, or else it's 3rd down and 20-something. Odom scrambled. 3 men pursuing. Gets to the sideline. Fires in traffic. Almost intercepted. And it's incomplete. Now you have 3rd down and 20-something. 3rd down and 27.
This is all about being smart with the football right here for Odom. Okay, look at this situation. 2:32 left to go in the 4th quarter. If you have to punt this football, all right, you give the opportunity for your defense if they have to come back onto the field. 2 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout to get a stop against Jack State's offense. So being wise here with the football, it has to be #1 priority for Odom.
Odom's throw over the middle, it's caught! It's just short of the first down.
Wow, what a catch.
Moss with the catch.
So that changes the strategy here on this 4th down. Of course, you're going to go for it right here.
They can take their time now, right? I mean, it's 4th down.
Yeah, I take it down to the 2-minute timeout right here, Rich. Take it down, make sure you're in the right play. What a catch. Wow, Christian Moss. Big time.
They're going to take it down to the 2-minute timeout. Christian Moss up the seam, and Amari Odom threw a seed.
Big plays from both teams all night. Christian Moss, 4th down coming up.
4th and 1, Kennesaw State, 2 minutes left. Championship weekend here inside college football. All the action coming up after this one back in New York. All right, Turbo, what you got? 4th and 1, ball game's on the line.
I mean, to me, this is all Amari Odom time right here. You snap the football and you give him the opportunity to make the decision. If he's got a wide receiver down the field open, he throws it or he takes the check down. And if all the targets are covered, he's got to use his feet to get downhill to run the football.
Remember, on 4th down, Odom was stuffed at the goal line in this second half. He's not over center. He's in shotgun with Bennett next to him.
They got a light box.
And in motion. It's Bennett straight ahead, and he blasts in. Got the first down. It stops the clock. They'll move the chain. And they're just right at the target line. for their kicker, Britton Williams.
Yep, so they decided to go with what we call the read zone. Odom has the option to pull this football himself or give it to Bennett. And that defensive end, the read, told him to give the football to his back. Bennett does a nice job converting.
So we focused on the field goal. That's all well and good. Kennesaw State wants the touchdown. They want to win a championship here. The field goal is their fallback. On 1st and 10, blitz comes. Odom pulls it, rolling right, looking, little dump off, caught there. That's Bennett in a crowd. And he's down to the 27. 2 timeouts left. Clock rolling. It'll be 2nd down and about 5.
Yep. Coach Mack gonna hold on to those 2 timeouts as long as he can right here. Kennesaw State right back to the line of scrimmage.
Odom again, another blitz, and he's caught! He was sacked, he let the ball loose. There's a flag down, that might be another intentional grounding. They'd be better off if they called this a sack for Kennesaw State. Remember, the grounding call at the end of the first half was disastrous for them. He's down, so this is not going to be a penalty. And that's actually a break for Kennesaw State.
For Coach Mack, use a timeout right here.
The ruling on the field is intentional grounding. Number 2, offense. The play is under further review to see if the quarterback's knee was down prior to throwing the ball. Further review.
I don't know if you want to use a timeout for Kennesaw State. There's a review going on.
Yeah, now that there's a review, you put the game plan in right now. This is going to be pretty quick. Right knee's down. He still has the football. So get the play in, save a timeout.
So grounding is also a loss of down play. So, you know, there's going to be no penalty. There's going to be no loss of down. You're just going to be sacked.
Yep. And you're going to be able to keep your 2 timeouts.
But the sack also knocks them out. That's marked at the 38. They're further out. I mean, it would be a really long field goal, and that's like 4 or 5 yards from the target line.
Yeah, so it's not a backbreaker here if you take a sack, because you can still put yourself in position to get in better field goal range.
So it will be 3rd down, though.
And I don't think you're in 4-down territory anymore unless you're in like a 4th and 1, maybe 2, assuming you're able to get a big play here on 3rd down, similarly to what we saw in the last 3rd down to Christian Moss. But I think the important thing for Kennesaw State in this situation is to get positive yards and try to make this an easier field goal attempt for your kicker.
And through all of this, we haven't saluted Max Sanders for an outstanding play. Busting through, getting a hand on the quarterback's leg. So watch the clock situation on this.
After review, the ball carrier's right knee was down prior to him throwing the ball. It'll be 3rd down at the 37-yard line. Kennesaw has elected to take a timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff. That's their 2nd of the half.
You know, I might keep the timeout and give them the 10 seconds. That's I don't know what the book says on that one. You're going to have to go really deep in the book to find that one.
Yeah, the analytics.
Do you want the timeout or you want the 10 seconds?
May say something different. I may agree with you on that one there, Rich.
Here's the other thought, and it's more important right now, is they're going to need like 4 or 5 more yards to get back into comfortable field goal range.
That's the important thing here. So if you're Odom, you have to make a wise choice here with the ball.
Here comes everybody. Odom, the offensive line picks it up, and his throw is incomplete. Boy, they brought the house, and the offensive line held, and then Odom's throw, uncatchable.
I thought he got out of the pocket there a little bit too quickly, and
That's Kopic, who is down right now. So this is going to be about a 54-yard attempt if they attempt it. So you feel lucky here? I mean,
I don't know if you trust 54. His longest is what, 50? I think with a minute left to go in this game, it's all about who you trust more. Fourth and about 14.
Yeah, I think you have to kick it.
I think you have to kick it. Let's take a look at this. See what happened here.
He got rolled. Nix rolled over on that leg.
You know, the one hiccup with the Mario Odom is when he's under pressure, most of the time, almost all the time, he rolls out to his right. And sometimes I think that gets him in a little bit of trouble. I thought that last play, good to see Clayton Kopic up, getting helped off the field. I thought he could have stayed in the pocket a little longer on that last play, but had he rolled out to his left, much more space for him to operate.
Britton Williams, the kicker, has had some issues this year, but he looked really good last week against Liberty. Kennesaw had to go on the road and beat Liberty, and it took 2 overtimes to do it.
Well, it looks like Amari Odom's coming out to the field. I don't know about this one, Rich.
They're not going to attempt a field goal. There's a minute 3 left. They only have 1 timeout, so they're not going to get the ball back.
I would have liked to see them kick this field goal. No wind, no rain. He wants to trust his offense in this situation.
They show blitz. Jack State.
They're going to try to make him get rid of this football quickly.
They drop back.
There he goes to his left.
And he's got a lot of room. Can he get to the pile? No, he did get it. That's a first down.
And 15
Flags
more.
are down. He got plastered into the kicking net. And Turbo, you were right. He's been rolling right all night. He goes left and he gets a huge run.
It was the same exact blitz on the last play. They go cover 0, and he rolled to his right there on the 3rd down. And I said, look, if he goes to his left, there's much more green grass. This time he goes to his left, there's way more space for him to operate, and there's a late hit right there. That's obvious. He's already out of bounds. Boom.
The result of the play is the ball carrier reached the line to gain. After the play was over, personal foul, number 92, defense, late hit out of bounds. That penalty will be enforced half the distance from the end of the run. It's first down, Kennesaw State.
So this turns from they need a field goal, it's 4th down, they get the 4th, and this penalty is going to mean they're in a great spot to win this football game and win the championship.
Just under a minute, you still got a timeout left. You don't have to rush right now if you're Kennesaw State. In fact, you want to try to get this clock to dwindle down as much as possible as you attempt to get into the end zone.
They're actually reviewing for the first down. The official said that he reached the line to gain.
I thought he reached the line. It looked like to me on the replay he reached the line to gain.
Watch the first down marker kind of disappears, and you see the stick.
Breaks that tackle, so that's the, boom. There's a second stick.
That's the second stick. And the second stick, whoever was holding it kind of disappeared into the crowd.
Yeah, they weren't trying to get bulldozed by these guys coming to the sideline there. I'm getting out of the way fast. There it is. Looks like he's past the marker to me.
The good news is for Kennesaw State, is he had the ball in his right arm.
Yeah. Either way, the late hit is going to stand. And
well, if he doesn't make the line to gain, the late hit comes after
the play.
And the play is dead, which means the ball goes to Jack State because it was 4th down. Right?
It's a big review. penalty was on Jax.
After review, the ruling of the ball carrier reaching the line of gain is upheld. We will enforce the late hit. It'll be first down, Kennesaw State. Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 57 seconds, 5-7.
Lost in all of that is just a great call by Kennesaw State to roll him to the left. And as you pointed out, he'd been rolling right all night. Now you've got one timeout. Now with 57 seconds left, you're 11 yards away from a championship. Odom with Bennett in the backfield. Odom looks. He's going to run it. Throws. Caught. Touchdown. That's Dean.
Remember, earlier in the game, Gabriel Binyard, their #1 wide receiver, got knocked out of this football game. And one of the guys that came in to replace him was Neville Dean, #7. And how about that opportunity for Neville Dean, the potential game-winning touchdown for this Kennesaw State team.
They were at 4th and 14 and going nowhere. And Odom peeled away and rolled left and just got the first down, got knocked into the net. And just like that, Kennesaw State, and this is a huge extra point to stretch it. It's a slow snap, and it was picked up and kicked through. And the lead is 4, but there's 52 seconds left for Jack State.
I mean, the composure in the pocket, he's going through his progression, he steps up, forces the defense to collapse towards him, which leaves a wide receiver open in the back of the end zone, and just throws a dart right there for the score. And I gotta admit, cover 0 on a 4th and 14. I would have liked to see Jack State play coverage, keep everything in front of them, so if Odom does run, you can corral and try to make a play.
So now Jack State's got 52 seconds left. Keep in mind that 3 weeks ago, when these two teams faced off on this field, at the end of the first half, a Hail Mary was successful. And we talked about the bad snap. Nice save there by the holder. That's Josh Hewitt, the punter. And they almost got a hand on it. So Jack State hit a Hail Mary in that game at the end of the first half from like 60 yards.
Yeah.
And they may have to depend on that again. Their catch. And now Jack State's got 52 seconds to work with. Old Trapper player of the game, Amari Odom.
Well, Rich, he hasn't been perfect tonight. But when they needed him to come up big, he's come up huge in the most important moments of the football game. None more important than the 4th down conversion there in the 4th quarter of that last drive and the touchdown throw to put him up there 18-15, and of course, the extra point up 19-15 right now.
Jack State's got 2 timeouts. Creel fires one to the sideline, and it's incomplete. Caleb Offord has been trailing around DeAndre Johnson all night. Johnson, the 6'8" wide receiver, who's having a terrific year here in Jacksonville, Alabama.
It's been a really good battle all night, and wherever DeAndre Johnson lines up, Caleb Offord is there to follow him.
2nd down 10. Lots of time. Creel, good scrambler. Hit, dropped, all the way back at the 12. Elijah Hill, the freshman, ran him down. And they have to call a timeout, and now it looks almost impossible. Long 3rd down back at the 15.
You know, a really tough choice to roll out to his right there by Creel. All the routes are going to the left. You've got only one receiver going out to his right, and Cody Jones and Elijah Hill in there to make the play for the sack.
Loss of 10. Kennesaw State is in its second year of Conference USA, its second year of FBS. And here they are, 40 seconds away from a conference championship after finishing 2-10 last year.
2 downs to get 20 yards here.
Creel sets, fires, sideline. The big man can't hold it. Johnson. And guess who was his shadow? Offered again. That's a little bit of contact, but no flag. Here it is, down to this, 4th and 20.
Kennesaw State wasn't lined up fully defensively.
Creel's got to get rid of it. Looking, squares, he's deflected, the ball is incomplete, and Kennesaw State, there's no flags. Kennesaw State is going to win the Conference USA championship game. Caden Creel had a ton of time, but nobody open. And as he went to throw, he was hit. The ball almost looked like it was deflected.
Well, Caden Creel, he's got to run that football right there, Rich. Once he broke contain, he's got all the space in front of him, all that green grass. Look at this. He's in the pocket, all right. He's looking. Take off. Let's go ahead and take off. But a nice job in pursuit, Kennesaw State defensively. Had some breakdowns there in the second half. But when it mattered most here on this last drive, they stepped up big. A big-time sack on 3rd down.
Boy, Jerry Mack, just to get here last week, had to go on the road at Liberty and win in a 2-overtime game, and they did it. And here, they had to pick up a 4th and 14 in the last minute, and they did that. And then they get a touchdown, and now they get a championship. Kennesaw State, Conference USA champions. And one of the great stories in college football, 2-10 last year, Jerry Mack arrives, and here they are, 10-3, and champions of Conference USA.
What an amazing turnaround, right, Rich, for Kennesaw State. Last season, this was a 2-win team. Nobody had this team going as far as they did this season. And we talked to Coach Mack about that, and what did he say? He said, why do we have to wait to be great?
It's a great quote. That's what he told all his players. That's what he told the team when he arrived. We don't have to wait to be great. Let's just be great now. From 2-10, 10-3. This was the touchdown throw to Novell Dean, who came in the game late, not even on the depth chart. Odom goes 26 of 32. 10 different receivers caught passes.
No picks.
Even Scrappy the Owl can't believe it. Let's go down to Jordan Giorgio with Coach Jerry Mack.
Coach, in your first year at the helm, Kennesaw State Conference USA champions for the first time ever. How does that sound?
Man, it feels great. Man, this team, the toughness, the grit that they showed, a team that was 2-10 to turn it around and win 10 football games in 1 year. What a difference a year makes. Who does that? Where I'm from, they say, what they do that in?
What was going through your mind in those final minutes?
Man, just the toughness that this team showed. All year long, we've been coming up with wins in the fourth quarter. The DNA of a champion is really what this team showed tonight. To come on the road to this environment to win against that type of team, it just shows the grittiness and the toughness that all these coaches, all these players showed the entire year.
And lastly, the DNA of your quarterback. How did his leadership show up tonight?
Amari freaking Odom. That's all I'm going to say. That guy right there, every week, he took what he had, and he kept getting better and better every week. And then in that last drive, when we could have kicked the field goal, when we said put it in our best player's hand, that's what we did.
Coach, go enjoy this with your team. We'll get you that trophy soon.
No doubt. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Jordan. Terrific job down there. What a finish. That scramble by Odom was 14 yards on 4th and 14. Kept the drive alive, the touchdown pass. Man, for Robert Turbin, Jordan Giorgio, our entire crew, this has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. We're back for the trophy ceremony. Now let's go to New York. Congratulations to Kennesaw State, Conference USA champs.
Inside College Football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Verizon.
Guys, how about Jerry Mack, the third Conference USA head coach to win the title in his first season at a league school, joining Jamie Chadwell and Lane Kiffin, a historic season for Mack and his Owls. But let's send it back out. Jordan Giorgio at the podium with the trophy. Let's send it over there.
Thank you so much, Kiana. The party has already started here. What an incredible game. Now, before we crown our conference champs, I do want to take a moment to introduce some very special people next to me. Air National Guard Colonel Michael Adams is here.
Thank you.
And then, of course, Commissioner of Conference USA, Judy McLeod. Judy, thank you so much for being here. It is now time to present the Conference USA Championship Trophy to your winning head coach, Jerry Mack. Coach, in your first year at the helm, you deliver Kennesaw State's first ever Conference USA Championship. What does this mean to you?
It means so much to me, this whole entire community, our fan base, our boosters, and these two people on the side of me, our president and our athletic director. That is exactly the reason why I chose this opportunity to come to this university. It's special, all right? It's a special place, and we talked about it the entire year, being as good as we want to be, as fast as we want to be, and look how fast we came.
He's getting emotional. I see the tears. What message do you want to send to the fans here today and those watching at home?
The best is yet to come. And for our team, one word or a couple of words, size me up.
We have some more hardware to hand out, everyone. Your MVP, quarterback, Amari Odom. Amari, come on over here. 3 weeks ago, they got you. Tonight, you got them. What was the difference that allowed you all to show up when it mattered most?
Just resilience. We preach fight for 4 quarters, 60 minutes, and that's what we did tonight. All sides of the ball, offense, defense, special teams. We played for 4 quarters. We put the best running back in the nation in a box. The offense fought, had a long, hard drive. Special teams came up with big plays to field position. So it's a team effort.
You've got to take me and this entire crowd through that final touchdown drive.
We had a play call to the left. The defense kind of boxed it to the left, so I just scrambled. I had a lane, and my dog Vail, I found him. He was open in the back of the end zone. He made a catch. Coach Mack pitching catching the ball, and that's what we did to get a touchdown, take the lead.
Congratulations one more time to our MVP, our winning head coach, Jerry Mack, and Kennesaw State, your first ever Conference USA champions. Kiana, we have a lot of celebrating to do. Let's go ahead and send it back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much, Jordan. A big congrats to Kennesaw State. I mean, think about it. It's their first Conference USA championship game appearance and their second season in Conference USA. A 10 win in their second year as an FBS school. That's the fourth most wins in a second year of a reclassification from FCS to FBS all time. 10-1 in their last 11 games after that 0-2 start to the season, if you guys recall that. Now an 8-game win improvement from last season, the largest win improvement in FBS this season. We were talking about it, going from 2-10 to 10-3.